Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to 710 IWK 710 Daily Sesh. I'm Kim Cooper, your joint host. And I got our brand new video podcaster with us in the house tonight. He's taking on the Monday Sesh here at IWK. The one and only Reefer Reporter, Mr. Ron McNabb. How's it going, Ron?
I'm doing great, Kim. Thanks for having me on here to joint host the 710 Daily Sesh. Excited for a good night here.
Yeah, man. I'm so happy you decided to join our team here as a 710 daily session, taking over the Monday slot for me. It's great to have some new blood in the mix and a new face in the mix and somebody new learning how to run stuff and joining us here to spread some cheer and spread some smiles and have some tokes with our lovely listeners out there.
That's right. That's right. I'm going to start off tonight a little bit, just giving a little bit of background on how I came to here, what's happened over the
Yeah.
last few years. Pretty exciting. I guess I'll just go right into it. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Introduce
So
us to how you got started in doing all this.
Okay, everything started back. I'm just going to give a quick rundown. Point form, very quick. Back in 1998, I had a workplace accident. Had fell off a roof 20 feet. Broke my ankle. Had a lot of back issues and other health issues over the years. And back in 2015, a family friend of ours, none other but the wonderful Gary Pallister. His name was dropped to me back, as I said, in 2015, before we moved to where I am now. We were living in Toronto, and we kind of were little. We were kind of overwhelmed with a lot of stuff because we were in the middle of a move up here. And so by the time we got up here, we finally got in touch with him. I believe my wife talked to him either on the phone or by email once or maybe even twice, just to get some information about some cannabis oil and stuff. Really didn't know what I was doing, and joined a bunch of Facebook groups. And in 2017, finally took that jump into using cannabis as medicine. Never used cannabis before, not even recreationally. Never was against it, but just never. It was never offered as an option, and so I really didn't know what it could do. And boy,
Yeah.
am I glad I found it. I came
You got an
across
education, but quick, eh?
exactly. I came across your group, IWK, information with cannabis information with Northern Ontario Chem, and I've been following that group for some time, as well as a bunch of other Facebook groups, following a lot of the shows and listening to them on Pace Radio, uh, interactively commenting on the shows, basically just wanting to learn everything I can about it. And fast forward that to, oh, I'll jump in a little bit before that. Got to the point where 2017, when I began using cannabis, I had already been on a bunch of pills. The number of pills kept climbing up until 2018, where I was on 23 pills a day, taking up to
Boy.
seven different medications. Um, Basically sat in a chair all day long, used a scooter or a cane or a walker to get around when I needed to. Ballooned up to 230 pounds. I'm only 5'3". I'm now 160 pounds, uh, all thanks to cannabis and a bunch of other
Yeah.
life changes, which we'll get into in other shows as well. That's part of uh, the topic that I'll be going into. Just learning how to basically use cannabis and other forms of healthy living and mindfulness and stuff to basically uh, help make what was a shitty life better.
Transformed yourself. You transformed your life and you transformed yourself. And you got
Totally.
an education to do it on plant medicine.
Yes, yes. It's totally amazing. Um, uh, yeah, back in late 2019 or early 2020, I actually had a bad reaction to hydromorph, where I was having whole body
Oh, yeah.
tremors and psychotic breaks. Not fun at all. Basically, I said that
No.
that's it. I've got to get myself off of these pills. This is certainly no way to go. The cannabis was already helping me with my pain, um, but I was still having
Yeah.
all kinds of other side effects. The pain wasn't being removed completely, which is common with when you're on opiates and stuff. Become
Yeah.
resistant to the pain.
Yeah.
Then in March
And that's
2020,
how your
made
doses keep going up, right? They
yes,
keep
yes,
giving you more. Oh, well, you need more then. You need stronger ones. You need more. Oh, now you're gonna get up to from one every 4 hours. No, no, take two every 4 hours.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So just to run through this real quick, then March 2020, I decided to quit all pharma with the direction of my nurse practitioner, with weaning myself off of them. Some of them you can't obviously go cold turkey on. People have, I have before. It's not good. Uh,
Not
so
a good
just I
thing. It's
no
not a
I
good thing.
always, when you're going to do that, I always recommend talk to your doctor or other healthcare professional before you start doing something
Yeah,
like that. Um,
absolutely.
so yeah, I've been pharma free since March 2020. I basically
Nice.
started just to keep increasing my dosage of cannabis that I was using. Um, and I was able to get off everything. For a very short time,
Nice.
I had to go back on some in December 2020 when I had inguinal hernia surgery. Um, Due to the lack of having edibles and oils and stuff, obviously I couldn't consume any cannabis at that time,
Yeah.
or I would have. So I had to go on the pills because with the surgery I had coughing. That was no
Yeah.
that couldn't
That's a
happen.
no-go.
No, no.
Yeah, no, that's
Um,
a no-go. I mean, pharmaceuticals, I think there's a place for
yeah,
them.
yeah,
It's the
definitely.
overprescribing. It's the
Yep.
overprescribing that's the problem. It's prescribing them for, I cut my finger. Oh, well, here, have some perks.
Hmm.
Like that's where we're at now, where, something like an aspirin or an extra strength Tylenol or a pharmacist dispensed high dose ASA can do the trick. We're getting opiates for that shit nowadays, and it's common practice, and that's where the problem lies. But there's
Yeah.
definitely a place for all of these of types of pharmaceuticals out there. They do serve a purpose for
Oh,
certain
definitely.
things, for sure.
Yeah.
Gonna break in here. We got like 30 seconds till the 7:10 toke. So let's stop for a quick dab break, and then we'll continue with Ron letting us know how he got here. Spark them up if you got them. Fire up those torches, light up those dab rigs, and let's do a dab together and keep on smiling, of course. Happy 710, y'all.
That's right. Happy 710.
Absolutely. It is a hard road. And those of us that traveled it know how difficult that road is. But we're certainly glad we found the road. The
Definitely.
effort for traveling that road, my God, the win in the end is phenomenal. So
Hmm.
that hard road for sure, but we got to travel it because this is where we end up. We end up with a bit more brain cells. We end up
Yep.
healthier, and we end up happier in the end,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah. It's not even been 2 years yet, and my life has been completely turned around. Um,
Yeah.
I've gone from uh, literally daily suicidal thoughts and ideations,
Yeah.
and like just basically living in pain 24/7, to actually living a life and enjoying my life. As you
Yeah.
mentioned earlier, I'm on the Reefer Reporters now on Thursdays with Cindy. Now taking on the Monday night 7:10 session here. A few other things that I'm doing, which leads me into the next, what I was just going to mention here. Since being an avid member and listener to Pace Radio and IWK, uh, things kind of just happened. I'm a big believer in putting yourself out there. You basically get what you receive what you put out there. So
Right.
I'm like, you know what? I have a huge passion for helping people and teaching them. I was a trainer in some of my employment in the past. So I've worked with a lot with people, and cannabis education is something that really kind of just it kind of fits. Um,
Yeah.
so leading to that, back in May uh, of this year. Um, no, sorry, actually going back into February, when you were on a Facebook block, I had jumped in to
Oh,
started
okay.
helping post content onto
Yeah.
your group, and so here I am posting news stories all the time. So that obviously led into perfectly going into Reefer Reporters. Also
Yeah.
had done the patient story interview on Pace Radio with you and Al back in May,
Yeah.
and then so yeah, September I started. We got the call from Al, Cindy, and Al to do the Reefer Reporters, taking over from Craig, and here we are here now, and
And here we are now.
yeah,
The evolution
um,
of the journey. It was great to see you sign on to Reefer. We all talked about it before Al and Cindy reached out to you, and Cindy and I both said, when Craig had given his notice that he was leaving, Cindy and I both thought the same thing. Oh, Rob McNabb would be perfect. And then Al turned around and messaged us, and he's like, "Well, what do you think about Ron McNabb?" And both of us were like, "Yes, yes, that's what we just said. Yes, 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 yes. We
yeah,
100% agree." And
yeah.
and that's what I've said from the start. You dove in on IWK. You volunteered to post my news stories for me when I was searching for somebody or a few people to do that for me, because I posted quite a bit of news when I was doing that full time. I thought it's going to take two or three people to get the content up that I was getting up on the screen. And then you volunteered, and I thought, okay, well, I'll show you what I do. And the first few times that you were posting, it's like, okay, well, here's how I do it. You write this, and you take a piece of the story and put it with a link, and I would set it all up and format it and send it to you in Messenger, and then you just kind of copied and pasted it and put it on. And
Hmm.
then that only lasted a couple of days. And then it
Yeah,
was like, I said, go ahead and post your stories if you want. And then you were posting them, and I went on and looked, and it's like, look it, he does it exactly the way I was doing it. The format is the same. You're putting up content and information. And I just went, oh, I'm good. And I haven't had to worry about posting any content to IWK as far as news stories goes since you took on that task for me. And I couldn't be happier with the job that you're doing over on IWK for me. Of course, my existence on Facebook is problematic on the best
yeah,
of days.
yeah.
I never know when I'm going to be on a block, and I can't get anything up. So you taking over that job for me has been absolutely awesome, and you do a fantastic job for it. And when I left Reefer Reporters, because I got just far too busy to handle that, and Craig took on for me. It's like, oh, well, the only place I get my news from now is from your posts. I don't have to go searching for them. I just go on
Yeah,
IWK and
yeah.
I find all the news because Ron has it up. And it's just been, you've been just great. Just
Well,
great.
it
It was a
makes
natural progression for you to wind up
yeah,
on Reefer.
and it makes it easy for me to my stories for reporters as well, because I've already got a whole ton of stories there that I've posted.
Yeah.
So it's just a
Yeah.
matter of, in fact, sometimes I'll come across one that I posted a week and like, oh, you know what? This is a really good one. I want to read this one on Thursday.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the
Yeah.
way I look at it. The way I look at it is, I was one of the ones sitting on the other side there, listening to the shows and just
Yeah.
gleaning this information. It's like in hearing it and then going and doing more research. Um, if that can help, if by me doing that can help someone else find what I found, it's worth it. And I know that
Yeah.
it's going to be more than just
Absolutely.
one person. So
Yeah.
we we
That's right.
we see
And that's
this
what
we
it's
see
all
the
about,
stories
is
all the
helping
time.
people.
Yep, patience for
Yeah.
patience.
It's spreading the information. Yeah, spread the
Yep.
information, get it out there, and introduce more people to allow them to expand their mind into plant medicine,
Mm-hmm.
and get off the opiate train, get off the pharma train. It's amazing how much your life changes for the better. You have more energy. You have more awake time during the day. You're not walking around in a fog, and you can still take
Yeah.
care of your pain conditions. Far better pain control than you had when you were on pharma. and
Yeah.
and that's what it's all about, is the awakening of both the body, mind, and soul
Yeah.
to plant medicine, and
Yeah.
what it can do for your life.
And that's exactly it's a the body, mind, and soul, all of it. It's you got to be. It's a whole thing. It's a whole package for healing, for everything.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of meditation that I've done over the times, especially during some of the harder times. Um,
Yeah.
but it's there's still some days where I'm in pain. Last couple of days, my back has been bothering me because I've been the one having
Yeah.
to do a lot of stuff around the house right now, as my wife's hurt herself. But
Yeah.
you know what? At least I've got something here that can help, even if it doesn't take all the pain away. It also helps just with calming my mind. If my mind is
Yeah.
calm, I'm not freaking out over the pain. I can get through it.
That's right.
And we're
30
almost at,
seconds till the
yeah,
420 West Coast.
we are almost there.
you,
Time is flying
you
by.
got it. You got it. That's awesome. It is. See? Nice and quick. Nice and quick. Get your dabs ready. Get your bongs ready. 420 West Coast toke coming at you any second. That clock's going to flip. And we'll do another dab together tonight with all you wonderful folks out there while we chit-chat with Ron McNabb, joining us here on the IWK 710 Daily Sesh, Mondays joint host. Going to be awesome.
Happy 420 West Coast.
Happy 420. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. But yeah, it's been quite the evolution of events for you in a very, very short period of time. We were talking about pain control there just before our 420 West Coast toke. And you said, you're having some pain in that. But pain is natural, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're human.
Mm-hmm.
We're supposed to feel some pain. If we've hurt ourselves, you don't feel the pain, then you're not going to know to slow down. You're not going
Exactly.
to know that you've pushed yourself too far. Cannabis is a wonderful, wonderful pain control measure, but it's not. It's not a silver bullet. It's not going
No.
to take everything away and make you walk on daisies. But it will give you your life back and bring
Yes.
your levels into the realm that they're controllable, and you can carry on with your day. We're going to feel some discomfort when we're injured, of course.
Yep. But at least, as I said, it helps calm the mind as well. So
Yes,
if your mind's not freaking out, then you can deal with a lot of other things. You really can.
that's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
So basically, that just kind of leads me into where these Monday night sessions are going to go. I've kind of thought of having kind of the topic of Education Mondays, um, to just talk about different things that I do or others do to help themselves get through the day. Different things that they do. Like for example, my wife and I do a lot of gardening. Um, we can talk about different gardening topics. We can talk about. I also grow my own cannabis, so we can talk about that. We can talk about different things like terpenes, just different things that different life skills that can kind of help everybody. Um, I will try to keep it not. We won't keep it. We won't make it too serious because we obviously want to come just here for 30 minutes or so a day to have a little bit of fun, but at the same time,
Yeah.
it's a good time to get together and just learn what others are doing, um, to pass time and to whatever. So
Yeah, to
yeah,
chat and to chill and have a toke and a couple of little smiles maybe here and there. And hell, what's wrong with getting a little bit of education, learning something you didn't know before when you leave the show? If you can do that and walk away with still that smile on your face, then hey, that was 30 minutes well spent, right?
yeah, yeah. Like there may be
Yeah,
times where with me growing, I may do a little tour of the garden. We might do a
nice.
little bit. We could do a little bit of cloning one night. Just little demonstration, and
That's awesome.
I don't have any big equipment or anything like that. All my grow cabinets I built myself out of scrap wood, and
Nice.
it's amazing what you can do when you don't have much. You realize
That's
you have a
right.
lot.
Yeah, it
So
doesn't take a whole lot to do this. You don't
no,
have to be rich. You don't have to go out and buy fancy equipment. You're growing a plant. You're growing a weed.
yeah,
Okay? I mean, how much did we struggle, in years gone by trying to weed our gardens and get rid of the weeds? And it's like, holy shit, they keep coming back. You can't get rid of them. Holy shit, this thing, I can't kill it. I've tried everything to kill it and I can't kill it. This is what you're growing in your
hmm
garden. It's not
yeah,
that hard. It's not rocket science to grow a half decent plant. You just need some basic knowledge and some basic equipment. And, to grow a phenomenal plant, well, you'll gain your knowledge along the way from there
yeah.
to make that happen. But when you get started, it's not rocket
Yeah,
science.
and every grow that I've done, I'm terrible at keeping track of things, so I really honestly don't know what number of grow I'm on. I could figure it out by going back into my pictures on my phone, because that I do
Yeah,
have. And most of that's kind of funny because most of the pictures on my phone are either of my plants or our vegetable garden or my dog.
yeah.
One of those three things. So
Our priorities are straight though, right?
yep, exactly. But I do
Weeds,
think
food, animals.
I do think there is more of my plants than anything else. But
Yeah.
um, I was going to say something I can't remember.
Oh shit. Stoner
But
brain and me interrupting and popping in, with my little highlights and my little one-liners. I
Yeah.
I throw a lot of people off with that. I've done that to more people than I care to count.
Actually, just just to touch a little bit about how I started getting into growing, is a fellow patient who I met at an event down near Aurelia in 2018 had gifted me a white widow clone,
Oh,
and
nice.
I immediately took to YouTube to try to figure out how to clone myself. I took 8 clones, 4 survived, and that's where it went from there. Now I've got a current run of 10, with another 8 sitting ready to move over soon, to be planted up to 3-gallon pots from the 1 gallon. And I've just taken down a few that were outdoors, that I'm in the middle of trimming right now. So my whole idea is to get like a perpetual grow. So I've got plants at every different stage. So I'm taking a small harvest every couple months. Um, but every single grow that I've done, the quality has increased. And I started out with just using household CFL bulbs, household
Yeah.
compact, CFL LED bulbs
Yeah.
from the dollar store.
From the dollar store.
And
A lot of people start off with dollar store stuff.
yeah,
Lots of people. It's amazing how many people's first grows consisted of dollar store items.
yeah. In fact, I think next week what I'll probably do is on next week's sesh, I'll throw up a few pictures of some of the cabinets and that I built, and the light fixtures that I had, and some of the plants that were growing, and it was definitely worth it. I didn't get a lot of
Nice.
harvest off of there, but it was still worth it.
It was a
But
learning
but
experience. And it was a
even
learning experience. You
yeah,
learn lots about plants,
yeah,
right?
exactly. Exactly. And when they say that cannabis is addictive, I never really believed it,
No.
until I started growing, because growing it certainly is.
The joys you get from a garden can be
Yeah.
addictive for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
For sure. You know, my very first plant that I grew indoor, my very first indoor, I grew a plant before that outdoor, but my first indoor grow, I grew at the foot of my bed on a bench. I had 3 plants sitting at the foot of my bed with a um, tube light, fluorescent grow light tube. It was the blue grow lights. It was called Grow Lux or something like that, I think it was.
Yeah.
And it was a Grow Lux fluorescent tube. It was
Yeah.
like a 4-foot dual tubes, and there was 2 grow lights in there, and it was at the foot of my bed, and I had to get used to falling asleep with this blue light on at the foot of my bed. I knew very little about cannabis. I was only, I mean, maybe my third grow that I had done. And at that time, that was in like 1983. And my first outdoor plant I grew in 1981.
Yeah. I unfortunately, I've got no idea of that type of experience, because I wasn't around. Uh, uh, well, I was around, but I wasn't growing back then. Obviously, I was just a little kid. But with the help of YouTube and all the Facebook groups now, um,
Yeah,
anyone growing now has got no excuse with learning.
yeah,
My hats go off to all the old school growers who did it the tough way, and
yeah, yeah.
stealth
I learned from my
closet grows.
dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I learned from my dad. I found out my dad was a grower. I didn't know. I had met my father later on in life when I was 18. And turned out he was a cannabis grower. And I spent a summer with him and I learned about growing cannabis. And then I came home and I started growing my own cannabis. And
Mhm.
that's how I got my start back in 1981 was my first experience with my father. And yeah, I came home on my own, and yeah, I grew my own after that.
Yeah.
So
It's
yeah, it was great days. I got a book from Ed Rosenthal. In 1983, I picked up a book written by Ed Rosenthal,
yeah.
and it was my first guide to growing cannabis.
Yeah, I've used his
Little
website.
paperback.
I don't have his book, but I've been onto his website and seen articles and that from him. That's someone who I've looked
Yeah,
at growing with learning to
yeah,
grow and stuff. Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, there was my first two guides on growing. Absolutely. It's been a fabulous journey, that's for sure. I'm always excited to have new people coming into the scene saying, "Hey, I want to do this." And it's like, "Yes, yes, let's do this. What can I show you?
yeah,
What can I tell you? Oh,
yeah,
what can you tell me?" And then all of this new stuff, because I'm very old school, and sometimes we get set in our ways. You do something a certain way forever, and
hmm,
then you find out later, hey, there's a better way of doing that. And it's a lot of the times it's the people that are just coming on the scene that are finding this
yeah,
stuff out, and they're
yeah,
teaching us old schoolers a lot. And
hmm,
it's been fantastic to be able to learn from new growers and find out new things. And more people jumping on the scene means more information is being spread at a faster rate. More people are learning stuff. More people are documenting their growth and teaching us all, what would have taken 10 lifetimes to learn.
yeah,
So it's
yeah,
a very exciting time.
yeah. There's a lot of good information out there. Like I said, anyone who's looking to get into growing, there's no excuse not to with
Yeah.
learning. There's so much information out there, and
Yeah.
there's different styles. There's different things you can do. Not all of them are right or wrong. You got to go with what works with you, and a lot of
Right.
that for me, I find is I have to work around my limitations, both physically and mentally, and that dictates of what I do or don't do in my grow sometimes.
Yeah.
And sometimes that
Yeah.
means my plants don't get watered as often as they should,
Yeah.
which is one of the next things I'm going to be working on is working at building a gravity feed watering system. And that is probably something
Yeah, we can
that,
always improve, right?
yeah,
We can
yeah,
always improve and improvise, and you can figure out what works. Hey, JJ's in the house, Mama J. How's it going? Yeah, yeah, we learn and just, evolve around all of that. We learn as we go. And it's like, oh, I seen this pump thing, and this guy's, got this $100,000 equipment grow up, and it's like I'm looking at it, and it's like, huh. Well, what could I do to get the same thing for way less
yeah.
money? And you find a fish tank pump, and you find out about tubing and splitters, and hey, you know what, I can get all of this at my local pet store. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's going to make it a smaller scale to fit my small grow, and I can do exactly the same thing for $50.
Well,
So this is how we learn.
yeah. See, I source a lot of stuff from the dump, from secondhand stores. There's a local secondhand store in our little community that all the proceeds go to
Yeah.
our local fire department, which is all volunteer.
Perfect.
So I get a lot of stuff from there. For example, I'll use like wood from 2x4s from a skid. I'll take the skid apart
Yeah.
and I'll rip the 2x4 in half, and then there's two pieces of wood now I can use for building my cabinet. Didn't cost me
Yeah.
anything.
You know how much stuff I have made out of skids?
Yep. Yep. I'm in the process of building a
For
green.
real, eh?
Yeah,
They're fucking great. They're great, man.
yeah. I'm in the process
I mean,
of
it's
building.
free wood, right?
Yeah, I'm in the process of building a greenhouse right now Just a small one, but the whole bottom section of the walls will be skids. And
Nice.
the windows
Nice.
were a barn find from a friend of mine, from an older house in the area here. So
Nice.
free greenhouse,
Very cool.
and
Free
that's some of the
greenhouse.
stuff.
This is free wood,
Yeah,
right?
and that's some of the stuff that I'm going to be discussing on the Monday night sessions of different ideas that people can do if you don't have a whole lot of money to get in and start growing.
Yeah. And who the hell
And
does? Nobody's got a whole lot of money anymore,
yep,
especially in today's day and age. I
yeah,
mean, everybody's hurting everywhere. So there's ways we can help each other so that we can keep the green growing, keep the smiles happening. So make sure
exactly.
you turn in every Monday. Get away for 30 minutes a day on IWK. Just leave with a smile on your face and a little bit more information to help you along your journey with this green goddess that we all praise.
Awesome. Now,
It's bottom of the hour. We're like 7:40 here. Gonna do a dab with our fine folks in the house tonight that tuned in to say welcome to the show, Ron McNabb. And I know I, for one, am very excited about listening and watching your future shows and getting some new information because you never know, even with an old broad like me, what tips I could pick up along the way, right?
you just never know. And I might learn something. I'll probably learn something too.
Absolutely. Cheers, everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight on the IWK 710 Daily Sesh with a
Yes.
brand new joint host, Ronnie. Where is it? Ronnie
Uh,
McNabb. There he is. Ronnie McNabb's
I'm
in the
here.
house. Yeah, you got to learn the backwards thing, eh? You
Yeah,
got to
I
point
know.
opposite
There,
where you want to go.
there.
Got to go opposite.
Yeah. There's Kim. There's Kim right there. Oh, you see, I finally found a place. I finally was able to put this poster up. I bought it a few years ago
Nice.
at Giant Tiger. I don't know if you can quite see it, read it.
Yeah,
I'll throw a
can't read
picture up
it.
on the. I'll throw a picture up later
All
on
right.
the in the chat here of it.
Sounds
So
good.
yeah. So, anyways, thanks all
Sounds
for
good.
tuning in, and look forward to seeing you all next Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Cheers.
It's your show. You're going to end it. Peace out.
Peace.